things are on the, things are on the move, and I'm excited about the rate of growth that we got going. We have a massive amounts of people coming from other companies over, bringing teams over, not because we're asking them to, because our product line is that strong, our compensation plan is that strong. And if you really submerge yourself in what we're doing, you don't need to do anything else. If you get really focused on what we're going to teach you tonight and where we are, but where we're going, and you just focus on being a professional at what you're doing, you don't have to become the Jack or Jill of all trades. And Jack and Jill of all trades, they never really make anything happen. So when you get all in onto something like we are and been here for years and the strongest comp plan in the entire direct sales industry, so says the people at Success Magazine. It makes you feel good that you spent all these years in fighting and going after it and not quitting and not selling out, that type of thing. And so I'm really proud tonight that Rachel's coming in to teach you how to start posting on social media, how to do your follow-ups and those type of things. And the results that we're getting, you can't have a rate of growth of well over 500,000 people since March the 1st to join your organization, which is unheard of in our industry in this short period of time. Something has to be going on. So make up your mind right now that we're going to get going on, and you're going to become the professional, and you're going to work it like a professional, and you're not going to be scared to pick up the phone or whatever your avenue is of communicating with people. Let them know you're a professional. But there's a couple of things that I've been watching pretty close that we need to start doing. One, find out what's important to the person, and ask the questions that we can help them create a solution for their problem. Everybody is looking for a solution for your problem, but you don't know what their problem is if you don't ask the questions and find out what it is, so we can craft the solution, whether it's gut health, it's just nutritional wellness in general, or it's just for weight loss. In fact, nobody can they haven't beat our system in consistent weight loss over the course of the years, or in just the last year and a half, not even the shots. And so I'm really proud of what we got going on in the medical field, as far as where I live, the doctors that are using our product line and having the results that they're having makes me feel good about just helping people in general. So, Rachel, we're going to kick it to you, and let's go get it. And let's see if we can all learn something from what Rachel's got for us tonight.
I am so excited to talk to you guys about this. I'm going to pull up, um, I put just a quick presentation together. It's super simple, guys, but I want you to be able to learn and see what I'm talking about. Hopefully, you can see it there. Yes, perfect. Okay, so what I want you to know before we get started is when you're working with social media, you need to put your social media glasses on, right? What that means is you're doing exactly what someone like Rusty is doing with actual people standing in front of them, listening to them over the phone. But they can hear his inflections. They can see his responses. He can see their responses or hear their responses. When you're doing this on social media, they can't hear you. They can't see you. So there is going to be more touches. You're going to have to talk to them more, or you're going to have to show them that you are a person who they can know, they can like, and they can trust. There's going to be a little bit more of that building in the first place, because not everybody is just comfortable with handing over their credit card. However, I sign most of my clients. I've only had about 2 people say, I'm not comfortable giving my card out, so I send them to my website. I don't have that problem. Do you know why I don't have that problem? Because by the time I'm speaking to the people, they look at my page, they look at my story, they look at everything, and they're like, oh, this is the same person consistently. The way she messages, the way she speaks, the way she posts, everything is consistent. They see my face, they see my kids, they see my vehicles. Like, they don't have any problem knowing that I am who I say I am. So they already know me, like me, and trust me. But in addition, what's been really cool is over the last few months, I have had people coming into my inbox. I have had people coming to my application. I have had people coming to me when I don't even have to go to them because of what I'm doing. And I want to share that with you, but we can make more out of this if we need to, but I want to start with just the social media. And I want you to put the glasses on that remind you that your social media page is your storefront. Okay? Imagine people walking into your store and it being a hodgepodge of anything and everything, and they don't know what they're looking for. They're not going to stop and browse because nobody goes to a store and says, "Oh, I've got 5 hours to spend here." And if they do, you don't want them anyway. Because I don't want the person who just goes around looking for the deal and can do it for hours because they don't have an agenda. They're not trying to get healthy. They're not trying to lose weight. They're not trying to spend money. They're not trying to build a business. They don't have the intention of building it. They have the intention of sucking everything they can out of what I have. And you have invested too much of yourself into this business to just let that be what you spin your wheels on. So I'm going to go to the presentation. I'm going to stop talking. And basically, we're going to talk about how your social media page is your storefront and how to make that possible. So, one of the points that I've put in here that I think is super important, everything that I've listened to, everything that I've read, they've talked about your ideal customer. And it's very important to know who your ideal customer is. My ideal customer is going to be a Christian mom, right? That's who I'm talking to. That's who I'm calling out into everything that I speak to. But my ideal customer itself are the people that were where I was when I first started this business. They're struggling to buy groceries. They don't know how they're going to put food on their table. They have to do it for their kids. And then they're going to find so much more in this business. How do I know? Because that was me. I was that customer. And so, as you're talking to these people, as you're posting, as you're putting information up on your story, send everything through the lens of your ideal customer. How do you know who your ideal customer is? Because it was you before you started. So, your social media is your storefront. You can attract people. You can attract people that you want to talk to, that you have things in common with. You're not looking for who you are now. You're looking for who you were before you started your business. So, when you're looking for your ideal customer, you want to post things, whether in your story, whether on your page, whether in a reel, whatever it is. You're going to post things that make them feel seen, curious to step in your doors of your business. Okay. So I'm going to run everything through this storefront, brick and mortar reality, because I've talked to several people who say, I used to run a business and I know how to do this in person. Well, doing it online is the exact same thing. You just have to add more because you have to have that know you part up front, or they're not going to know, like, and trust you, and they're not going to give you their money. All right. So if you walk by a store that is completely crowded, the things that they let's say their window display, right? It's either got a lot of sale signs or it's got a lot of different interest. Let's say your storefront window has fishing poles in it, and it has baby carriages in it, and it has women's clothes in it, and it has, whatever, put whatever your interests are. and your store window, your display is set up like that, people are going to look at your page and not even want to find out anymore. So what I like to think of it as is our customers have spent all day working, raising kids, running their busy life, homeschooling, buying groceries, whatever they're doing. Right? They're spending all of their time and all of their energy. So when they're scrolling, they see your page pop up and their brain starts to work. And what that does is it's like them running on a treadmill. Okay? If they have to figure out what you're about, then they're not going to do it because they don't have any idea. They don't know what the result of them running on that treadmill is, and they don't have the energy to figure it out. So you have to spell it out for them. They're not gonna shop there. That's the whole point. They're not going to shop there. So you want to make it warm and inviting. How do you do that? You're going to figure out who it is you're talking to. So my window display, my post, my stories, my reels, everything is going to be talking to Christian moms. It's about growth. I post about my kids. I post about homeschooling, but I run everything back through this funnel that says, Christian moms, hey, what about this? Everything has a call to action with a direction, right? So there may be a post that says, tell me more, tell me your favorite scripture. That's still a call to action. I'm asking them to tell me, and guess what? The algorithm's helping me find these people. See, I'm not having to go do anything crazy. I'm just posting, and the algorithm is showing the people that I'm looking for what it is that I'm looking for. And the people who comment on my posts, I'm commenting back to them, and Facebook goes, "Oh, they're friends. Let's show them more," because it's going to keep them on our site longer because they like these people. Okay. There's two types of stores, and you can even say there's two types of post. Okay, you've got spammy posting, which is going to look like a cluttered store, sale signs everywhere, people don't know what they're looking for. Or you have relatable lifestyle posts, and that's going to be a warm, inviting, a cute window display where people can buy because they now know what they're interested in, right? So if I'm a pregnant mom and I walk by this store and I have nothing for my baby yet, and there's all of a sudden a bassinet and baby carriage and blankets and pillows and maybe a rocking chair and all that's in my window display, that pregnant mom who has absolutely nothing for her baby is going to say, "Oh, I should look in that store." While the fisherman is going to walk by and be like, "I'm not having a baby. I don't know what they're doing. Like, that's not for me." But if I have fishing poles in my store window and I'm talking about fishing um, things, right? I don't know a whole lot about fishing, so pardon me. But if I'm talking about fishing, then that pregnant mom isn't going to have anything to do with that store. But the fisherman walking by will have something to do with that store. So you're teaching people what you're talking about by only talking about those things. Okay. And I'm not saying that posting replaces messaging. Okay. If you want to get customers fast, you need to go out and talk to them. Okay. I also have a list um, of like scripts, I'll call them scripts, that I often talk about. So I'm on Facebook pages, some for homeschooling moms, some for the location that I'm in. Like, I'm on a page for Morristown, Tennessee, because I used to live there. I'm on a page for Athens, Alabama, because I live there. And then the surrounding counties, because I'm in those counties. I do those things that they would do, or I'd be interested in those events that they have. And so often on there, somebody will say, "Oh my gosh, do you know where there's a work from home job?" So I have a script that I put up. My name is Rachel Simpson, and I started this job just so I could be with my kids. Are you interested? Fill out my application. It's a very simple way. And Chat GPT will help you out with it, but you have to tell it what you want it to find. Okay. Um, And then I have a script when somebody says, "Oh my gosh, I need more energy." I said, "Hey, I do this. It's given me a ton of energy. You want to chat about it?" I have another page that like a landing page, right? So um, I put a little script up with that link in it and says, "Hey, I got a ton of energy out of this." Or say it's a hormone issue. And I have a script for that that says, "Oh my gosh, this fixed my hormones. You should try this. Is this what you're dealing with?" And then they fill out the questions and I can talk back to them. I have their phone number, I have their email address. It didn't go to any other site. It went to my application and it came directly to me. Okay. I will show you all of those if that's something you're interested in. Not a problem. But when we run a business, our hopes and dreams aren't what run that business. Systems run a business. So, what is it that you sell most? What is it that you use? Because I would put scripts together on those and I would go find pages that I'm interested in being on. Okay, if you have a dog, get on dog pages, maybe dog moms or dog parks, and dog parks near me. I don't know. I homeschool my kids, so I'm on several homeschool pages. Okay, I have chickens, so I'm on several chicken pages. And so when somebody says, "Hey, do you know what do you have a good electrolyte package? Do you know anything about how we get electrolytes or how we get hormone, issues or how we stop overeating?" Okay, just some basic questions that I have little scripts for that say, "Hey, fill out this information. Hey, this worked for me. Fill out this information." And when it comes to the before and afters, I post 3 to 5 times a day. Twice a week, I will put up business posts. Okay. I sometimes do it more just depending on if something's moving me. Like I think I did it 2 or 3 times last week. Once was a before and after, and there was 2 or 3 different posts about starting a business with me. And one of them was because I was writing the stuff for this Zoom. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about what if I had died in the stroke and my kids wouldn't know anything about me? I worked full time. They didn't have any idea. They didn't know my favorite color. They knew I liked spicy food. They knew that I was a good mom, that I loved them. But that's about all they knew. They didn't know anything about me. They didn't have any personal connection with me because I was working 60 hours a week and driving back and forth and, cooking dinner, and they didn't know me. And the header for that was just, if I had died in the stroke, my kids wouldn't know me. I got to start a business that lets me be here with my kids. Do you know how many comments I've gotten back in my inbox just saying, "Well, what do you do? What is that about?" The reason is because I'm genuine about what I'm talking about, and I'm genuine about who I'm talking to, because I'm very clear on who I'm talking to. I'm not for everyone. And you can tell me till you're blue in the face. I only know because I used to tell people until I was blue in the face that I want to sell to everyone. Okay? I want to be the person for everyone. Okay? Nobody can be the person for everyone. Walmart is not the store for everyone. If I want a ball gown, I'm not going to Walmart. If I want groceries, I'm not going to Amazon. Do they have options? Yeah, but they don't have meat. You know what I mean? I can't go to Walmart for everything. I can't go to Amazon for everything. I can't go to the grocery store for everything. The grocery store that I really like doesn't have the dog food that I can buy, doesn't have chicken feed. Okay. Like you can't be the person for everybody. You don't need to be looking for that. As people talk to you, you can, talk to them, of course, and you can go talk to other people. But when you're posting and when you're putting stuff on your stories and when you're doing your reels, if you're talking to everyone, nobody knows how to find you because they're running on a treadmill to figure out what you're saying. Okay. Our brain is designed to use as little energy as possible to do a task. So if we make our customers run on treadmills to figure out what we're saying, then they're not going to do it. Their brains won't let them. Okay. So this right here, I talked about that. So, this one right here. Okay. So in a lot of the brick and mortar stores, and you guys would probably know better than me because I don't do a whole lot of shopping. I go grocery shopping, and that's about all the shopping I like to do. That kind of like is about it. That's the only thing I like. um, this isn't really the place that I could tell you who does this because I don't know. But I know you guys have heard how many brick and mortar stores say hello every time you walk in. Like that is part of their coaching. It says, talk to every customer, say hello, make sure they're seen, make sure they're heard. Okay. How many stores did you shop in where customer service is that important? I know Chick-fil-A makes you feel like you're important. They don't necessarily say, "Hi, thanks for coming to Chick-fil-A," but I mean, they at least are very pleasant when you speak to them and say, every time you say thank you, their coaching tells them to say, "It was my pleasure." Why? Why is that so important in a brick and mortar store where you can see their face? Because people respond to that. People want to feel heard. People want to be seen. And so when you're talking to people, you have to talk to them like people. And so everything you do online, think about that person standing in front of you, not just a person on the other side of the computer, because they need to know that you see them, that you hear them, that you know them, right? So when I talk to a customer or a potential customer, one of the first things I do, and I learned this from Rusty. I'm not even gonna lie on that. This is solely from what he has said. Is I ask questions. Even when they comment on my post about a certain product, I put up a before and after post last week. It was the one I put up. I had a couple of ladies, one of them commented on that post and said, information or I'm interested or something like that. I messaged her back and said, hey, I got your comment on my post. Thank you so much. What are your health goals? I didn't worry about anything extra. I don't care if she posted because she wants information or just posted to say thanks because I'm not giving her a way out. I simply want to know what are her health goals. Okay. My standard is to talk to people about 30-day drop or greens and slimmer because I needed hormone help and I needed energy. And those two products work hand in hand. The Skinny Brew was great as well. I love the Skinny Brew and it gave me a ton of energy, but I use the slimmer and the greens. And so they're easy to continue in my everyday conversation. she tells me what her goals was. It was 25 pounds. I mean, it wasn't anything major, 25 pounds. And my next question was, okay, what's your lifestyle like? Okay, what's this like? Okay, what's that like? I asked her probably 7 questions before I talked about the 30-day drop. Did I know I was already going to talk about the 30-day drop? Yes. But she needs to know that she's seen, that I am learning from her, that I'm curious about her, because if she doesn't tell me those things, then I might as well be a dealer, right? Because they have to know that you see them, they have to know that you hear them, because she's already learning about me from my posting. She already knows me, she already likes me, she already trusts me because she trusted me enough to comment. So if you're putting up posts and people aren't commenting, they don't know you, like you, or trust you yet. But if there's enough of you that's being put out in the post, then they're going to know you, like you, and trust you. But they're not even going to find you unless you're talking to the person you're talking to, and not everybody. All right. I 3 keys to a stop scrolling storefront is make it inviting. You have to have a connection with people. Almost every post I begin with, "Hey, mom, guess what?" Or, "Hey, moms." Okay. I throw in a few extra posts like my kids, it's Mama's Little Helper still. I use their nicknames sometimes. Uh, I have one son who his name is Robert Douglas, so I just call him my little chef boy RD, because that RD is his nickname, and it was just funny. People like that. So I have another son who was like, I want a cool name like that. So my daughter came up with JC Double B, because those are his initials, and it's just funny. And so I will refer to them and like that in my posting, so that people are on or in on that joke. It's just a fun way to let people know about your life and make them feel like they're connected with you. Um, in every post, I put a CTA. Every post. I don't care if the call to action, that's what CTA stands for, in case you don't know. CTA is a call to action. My call to action is comment. My call to action is DM me. My call to action is fill this out. My call to action is respond, tell me. It's something, but it's asking them to be involved in the storyline. Okay. It's asking them to connect with me. Um, Display what they want. People like to see results. Okay. The reason that I only post 1 to 2 before and afters is because I post 3 times a day, 3 to 5. Okay. Rusty posts a ton more before and afters than I do, but that's not the only thing that he posts. I see inspirational quotes. I see, the point is, or my point is, however many times you post, there's not a right way or a wrong way. It's that you have to have other things in there. If I see Rusty's post every 3 days and the only thing I see is a before and after, I'm just going to scroll past it. That not because before and afters don't sell, but because if you overdo them, they don't even know that you're not trying to sell to them. Okay. This is not a sleazy sales type of business. This is a relationship building, sharing business. What else can you start where you get to share your information? Like, this helped me. This is important to me. This changed my life. And you sell to people. Like, there's no other business that you can do that. If I go and open up a Walmart, then I just have to operate like a corporation. I don't get to go and operate like, this changed my life. Okay. This changed my hormones. This changed my gut health. I just think it's so cool that I get to share things that I'm passionate about, and that passion comes across in my posting. That passion comes across in my stories, because I don't even have to try to be passionate about it, because I used it and it changed my life. And not only did it change my life, but I'm realizing that it changed my kids' life. We talk about generational wealth and where that is so important. And I'm so excited about that. And I am super red. So money sounds great to me, right? I want to make generational wealth. I want to leave a legacy for my family and for my family's family and for my family's family. I want to be able to do that. But not only am I leaving that type of legacy, I'm also leaving the legacy of I knew my mother. Here's how men act. Here's how women act. Here's how they get treated. Because I wouldn't, when before this business, before my stroke, that wasn't me. My kids would have known I loved them, that I was a good mom, that I worked really hard, that I liked spicy foods. Like, that's how much my kids knew me. And everything I did was for them. Last point is that we need to be have conversations that build relationships and build recruiting. Not only do our the people on our page, not only are we speaking to them, but we're speaking to all of their audience, because every time we speak to them and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I didn't know that, or I really like this person, we're going to come to mind when they're talking to their friends, or their friend says, oh my gosh, my hormones are out of whack, I have PCOS. I'm like, oh, I know this girl who has PCOS. She almost had to have surgery. She shouldn't have kids. Oh, wait, that's me. But everybody that's on my page is going to know that about me, because I post about that. And they're going to hear when their friends say, hey, I don't know what to do about my hormones, I think I have PCOS. Like, this is crazy. And my name is who's going to come up, because they know me and because I'm building that relationship. But everything that we do online, again, I want to say this as clearly as possible. Everything we do online has to be focused as though the person was in front of us, because everything we do online is like the person is in front of us. If it was a brick and mortar store that you had, that is your social media page. Just because it's social media doesn't change anything. It's more the way you have to look at it is the social media page is your windows in your brick and mortar store. Okay. And I know that doesn't sound like this big, reveal of anything, other than when you start looking at it that way, you go, oh, I know how to post. I know who to talk to, because you start getting clear on who you were when you started this business. Okay. Everybody has an ideal customer. It's who you were when you started. Drop in the comments, just so I know, what were some of the reasons that you joined? I'll tell you what the reason was when I joined. Perfect. Here they come. Overweight. Gotcha. Need to lose weight. Control onset diabetes. Yep. My reasons were a little different. Mine wasn't from the product side. I needed money so that I didn't have to struggle with which kid got to eat, because that's the point I was at. Which kid got to eat? Do I buy formula and diapers, or do I buy ground beef? And then the products were like the icing on the cake. I joined to stay with my kiddos. That's impressive. The products are amazing too, guys. after being a loyal customer to save. Perfect. See that, Nicole, that is an excellent story. How many of us have customers who have bought from us who just want to save a little bit on what they're doing? And I like how Rusty put it. I've added that into a lot of my conversations is, do you want to pay to get skinny, or do you want to be paid to get skinny? And it's that simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. People are curious when you give them that kind of information. All right, so here's some examples of how we post and how we can talk to our ideal customer. And so your life, ideal customer, right? So you're going to take this from your ideal customer standpoint. Faith, family, funny, ideal customer moment. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. Moms, Christian moms, okay, that's my ideal customer. And then faith, family, funny, doesn't matter, moms, and then a faith moment. And then tell me yours, right? Or Christian moms. And I'll put something about, our families and our need to raise our children, our need to support our husbands, because, well, I won't get off on that tangent. Husbands are really important. Dads are really important to kids. I don't know if you know that, but dads are so important. And so not only do we have the responsibility to take care of our children, we have the responsibility to take care of our spouse as well. But that's a whole different story. You share your encouragement, again, from your ideal customer's perspective, right? So you can share encouragement that Christian moms might need, or you can share encouragement that dog moms might need, or you can share encouragement that fishermen might need, right? And by encouragement, just bend that depending on what your story is. Like, Kevin, I know you have worked in construction all of your life. So your ideal customer may be a construction worker. Okay. It's going to be just like running a business in the physical world. You're running a business online, and you're speaking to the people that you would speak to in the real world, in the physical world. So your posts are going to look a whole lot different than mine, because you'd be talking to dudes. And I'm not trying to be crazy about it, or anyway, doesn't matter. All the words are, escaping my head right now, but you're going to be talking to men. I'm sure women respond as well, but it's not going to be the same thing as, hey, Christian moms, right? That's not going to be who you speak to, because that's not who you are. You can speak to people who you are. And you know how easy it makes your posting when all of your content is stuff you already do. Okay, I am a Christian mom. I'm a homeschool mom. I have chickens. All of my content is about my life. That's who I'm talking to. People who want to run a farm, people who want to homestead, people who want to homeschool their children and spend more time with their children, and wish they could see their children more than 30 minutes a day. Okay, those are my people. That may not be your story, but you have a story just like that. Just replace the Christian mom with dog mom. Maybe you're a shopper. Maybe you're a bonus mom. Maybe you're a construction worker. Maybe you're a fisherman. It doesn't matter. You can ask ChatGPT, give me 500 ideal customers, right? What would they be called? Don't use ChatGPT to just write your post, because that's a computer writing your post. But you can use it to ask it for ideas on what things are called and how to market, and how to, hey, I a lot of times will use ChatGPT, because I want it to polish my post. I don't want it to write it for me. I write it, but I don't want to sound like a computer. Okay. If I copy just chat GPT stuff, I'm going to sound like a computer, and that isn't going to bring connection to any of my audience. That's not going to do anything. Okay. I may be able to say, hey, write me 15 posts about a product or about a topic, and then just copy and paste it. And it's going to give me a lot of things to do, but I'm going to sit there and just spin my wheels. And I'm going to be using a lot of energy to just post things, because people like people. People need to know that they're talking to people. People need to know that they're seen. And computers don't see us the way that other human beings see us. And I know that I need to end this soon. I'm just about at the end. But I wanted to make sure. Okay, people don't buy products. That's where I was anyway. They buy solutions. So instead of buy my vitamin, we can say, I used to drink 3 coffees a day to survive. In this case would be like, I used to drink 3 coffees a day to survive homeschool mornings. Now I actually have patience with my kids. Okay. You can use that type of prompt for just about anything. I used to drink 3 coffees just to survive my busy mornings, my stressful mornings, my work filled mornings, my homeschool mornings, it doesn't really matter what you put in there. You can use that prompt, just change who it is you're talking to, because the more you talk to the people that you're looking for, the more they're going to find you. You can post energy stories. Your ideal customer, brain fog wins, right? Ideal customer, freedom moments. And so I like, when I talk to Christian moms, I'm like, Christian moms, what is your freedom moment? Like, what is freedom to you? Christian moms, what would a ton of energy do for you? Okay. You can take anything and make it to talk to your person, right? Your ideal customer, but talk to them like they're standing in front of you. Okay. If you have somebody standing in front of you, you're not going to sit there and be like, hey, girl. You're going to say, hey, did you know? And you're going to go straight into the conversation. You're not going to start with, I see a lot of hey girl messages. I see a lot of hey blank comma, because we're not writing a paper. We're not writing a letter. We're messaging somebody, just like you wouldn't say that as you're standing there, unless it was like, hey, Rita, let's get such and such. Let's go here. Can we do? Right? So talk to them like they're real people. Don't talk to them like it's just a copy and paste message. Talk to them like you really care and you really see them and you really know them. Because the more you do, the more you imagine that person sitting right in your living room with you, the more they respond, the more they answer your questions. And if they're still answering your questions, then they're still interested. Don't ask. Just ask the questions and let them respond. I'm going to end with that because everything's pretty much a repeat of that. I hope that that's beneficial. If we need to go in any deeper, I would love to do that as well. If y'all want to know some of the systems and the processes. But I mostly wanted to get across that everything online is exactly like a brick and mortar store. You have to attract them. See, if you had a massage business, then you have to have a window that shows that you're a massage person, or a sign that shows that you're a massage person, or there nobody's coming in because they're not going to know what you did. It's going to be the same online. If your page doesn't look like a window to your store, then they don't have any idea why they would want your information, because they don't know what you do.
Wow, I love it. Very eye-opening. Got right to the point with subject matter. As of a while ago, we've had 525,000 plus people join us since March 1st. And what I want you to start doing, you take this system and you identify the problem you're talking to. Find out what's causing that person the pain. And then you create what? The solution so we can solve the problem. And the last few weeks I've been using for my new customers and reps. Well, how much is it? I said, well, what I take, and I can show my own before and afters. And if you don't have the ones, like, go to my page and take them. To my buddy Rusty, this is what happened to him in 14 months, 159.8 pounds. He's 63 years old. Well, how much is it? I said, well, for what I use, it's only a little investment of $179 a month. That's the 30-day draw. I said investment. It ain't going to cost you. No, investment. That investment is a power word used, and I'm investing in me. It changes the dynamics of the conversation. And I've not had one person tell me no yet, not in the last few weeks. Problem solved. If I could solve your problem for $179 or an investment of $179 a month and take that pain away, man, that would be cool, wouldn't it? And your lead in our product line works. It's not on trial. But when you start using some different words that make people feel that is going to be good for me, that is important to me. My whole 24 years in business is if I treat people a particular way, what are they going to say about me when it comes to when they're talking about what they're doing and people start to see the results? They're going to recommend me or they want to upgrade to become a rep. And because I'm very proud of this product line, it very much works. There's not another company on planet Earth that's had a massive growth for 525,000 plus people since March the 1st. And now when we create that momentum, and now with our compensation plan being the number one in the industry, we can't find anybody that wants to even begin to challenge it because of the upfront money we pay people. And then we also, your customers get their own little link. So every time they recommend somebody that becomes a customer, they get a $20 credit in their back office. I got customers working for free product every month. Tickles me to death. We're creating solutions for problems, and it's just a very minimal investment to take that pain away from you. So when you go at it from that perspective by asking the correct questions, I already know. I believe in 100% everything I got going on. I believe if you start on it and if you stick with the 30-day drop and you get committed, taking it at the same time every day for 120 days, you will not be fat. The weight will start to go off. Now, you can make all the excuses in the world about why you didn't do it, why you didn't stick to it. This is just way too easy. And it's not supposed to happen to people of my age. And once you get committed to every day, I'm going to do exactly, even your posting, taking your physical well-being to another level, because people begin to really watch you. And now they're trying to figure out how I'm doing it. Well, it's just too daggone simple. Now, I work out every day, 7 days a week. But I was doing that before I started on 30-day drop. I've changed nothing in my routine other than I put this in. And of course, I bumped the water up to about 10 bottles a day, 180 ounces a day. But I sweat really hard in the heat, when I'm out working out. But I want to say those power words that make you see the value in who you are, but getting rid of the pain that's holding you back. And once you start to see it and feel it, the one thing people I've seen doing now with the rate of growth, a lot of people is stop quitting. So you have to start over. If you've done 11 different things and none of it worked, what is the one thing that is common? You're the one that has to take responsibility for the stop, start, stop, start. There ain't no easy to success. You want to make $1 million, you're going to have to work like a millionaire. You want to get, well, in my case, the last 159 off. I went really to work and I got really dedicated on being sure I was prepared. Like tonight, Rob and I, we make our priority plan of action. I lay all my stuff out for the whole day tomorrow. And I know exactly when I wake up, I'm going to get it and hit it and keep grabbing and growling, because this priority plan of action, I don't have any time other than when I call Kevin and we talk junk to each other for about 20 minutes while we're riding down the road. I don't have any time to waste. Because if you become a time waster or procrastinator, you can't get that back. That is the only currency you got. So go all in and becoming the best version of you, creating the best physical well-being. It is your body. It's a temple God gave you to live in, the house that God gave you to live in. You have to take care of it. If you don't take care of it, it's just an excuse coming up, but then you can't get that time back. If you understand how valuable, see, time is very short. It's like with my granddaughter, she's growing up very quick, and I have a short window of time at my age to spend all the quality time I can with her because I see her growing. And that's a short window of time, and I'm not going to waste any of it because you can't. If God can't trust you with your time and trust you with your physical well-being, he cannot trust you with big finances because you'll waste it too. That's just human nature. But when you get disciplined to follow a particular structure of creating a solution for your own problem solved, physical or financial. And when you start to solve those for yourself, you become very efficient and proficient at solving them for other people because they can what? They can trust you because why? You done it. Does that make sense? Anybody got anything to add or any questions? All right, guys. Thank you for being on here. I love you. You matter to me. And until tomorrow, make this the best evening you've ever had. But don't you go to bed without drawing up your priority plan of action for what you're going to do in your business. Good night, everyone.